And so in today's video, I want to put together a top 10 list of the places that I enjoyed the most while traveling the Philippines. So you see, I visited 3 times at this point, and this list is going to be the places that I enjoyed the most, but not necessarily in a countdown. All are worth visiting. It's very subjective. But if I could go somewhere right now, it will be place number 1 and 2. So make sure to watch until the end, or just scroll all the way until the end. Those are the 2 places that I loved the most. And with that, let's start it out. Place number 10, a little bit of a throwback for me. Around 2 years ago, I visited the city of Duamaguete. It's a cool old school town, old churches. If you want, you can take a bus up north around an hour or 2 to the city of Bais. I will link all the names in the description. There, if you take a boat a little bit out into the water, you find Maldives-like waters. I enjoyed it, but I gotta say, in my opinion, a little bit overrated. If you end up in the region, I can recommend it. Checking out Duamaguete and Bais. My place number 9, a lot of people are gonna disagree, but it is the capital city of Manila. You hear it all the time. Hey, if you go to the Philippines, just skip Manila, go to the islands, go to the nature, and I agree. If you're doing a short trip, for sure. If you came for the beaches, you're not gonna find that really there. The city can get super congested, that's what people complain a lot about, but I gotta say, the areas of, let's say, BGC and Makati, I enjoyed a lot. When I travel long term, I want to make a little bit of a pause, have good Wi-Fi. Manila, it's a very different city. It has some history to it, some nice restaurants and bars, sky bars. I gotta say, if you pass through and that's something that sounds interesting for you, definitely check it out. Number 8, again a little bit of a throwback, Bohol. It's a big island and I enjoyed it the most for the scenic rides on the motorbike. It's famous for the little monkeys, the tarsiers, and overall a nice destination that you can reach from the big island of Cebu. Talking about Cebu, my place number 7. Moalboal and the Kawasan Falls. So in the Cebu area, I would say it's one of the most developed, most touristy areas. With that, you can do a lot of diving. It's famous for the sardine runs. Very often you can see some turtles there. So really, really cool, more developed than most areas. Take a motorbike ride, go to the Kawasan Falls. Either do a tour, canyoneering, I heard it's quite cool, or just go to the Kawasan Falls themselves. Very nice, but it gets also very busy later on during the day, so maybe head out in the morning. My opinion, only on number 7. I probably would not go again, I have to be honest with you here. It's just a little bit too busy in my opinion, but overall, a stop in Moalboal, I definitely can recommend. Number 6, Boracay. Probably the most developed tourist place in the Philippines, but there is a reason for that. The beaches are absolutely breathtaking. The blue waters, the clean sands. I heard in the recent years they did a complete cleanup, they shut the island down, and they made it, let's say, in a little bit of a different vibe. It's a little bit quieter now, I heard, not as much party anymore. You still can find it on the island. Very nice upscale restaurant, amazing food, but it's, let's say, more of a place that you really go to vacation. It's not really that, let's say, the adventure factor is very, very low. The nature is breathtaking. So if you're looking, let's say, for a little bit of a vacation, just wind out, relax, Boracay might be the exact place for you. Number 5 is El Nido and Coron, another 2 very famous places in the Philippines, connected, let's say, on or directly close to the Palawan Island. These places are known for the breathtaking nature. The blues of waters, limestone cliffs, and also it gets quite busy. Tourists from all over the world. You can head out of El Nido, go to the beach of the name Napcan, very nice, broad beach, and overall you can just take motorbike rides and go on boat tours. So there's definitely a lot to see. If you're into partying, you're gonna find it in El Nido as well, for sure. Coron, I just passed through it once, so I probably cannot really say too much about that. A lot of people love it, and for the nature, I would say I probably would rank it even higher. But because in my opinion the infrastructure is a little bit overloaded, a little bit too many people want to visit it for a good reason, for me it's at number 5. Let's go to number 4, which for me is going to be Siquijor Island. And with that, you're going to really notice that I enjoyed in the Philippines the places the most that, let's say, had a little bit more of a local character, a little bit more of an adventure vibe. And this small island that you can reach either from the Cebu Island or from the Bohol Island, what I really liked about it, it's very small, yet you can take a nice bike ride, around 2-3 hours to loop the whole island. You have a nice waterfall where you can actually do some action and adventure. You have a little bit of cliff jumping, not too high, but definitely really enjoyable and cool. But outside of these two beaches, the island is super, let's say at this point, not that busy. It's quite local, and again, the motorbike rides I enjoyed a lot. A little bit of a secret recommendation from me. And so we're going into number 3. And for me, it's gonna be unexpectedly actually myself, Bantayan Island. So this island is at the top of the Cebu Island. You take a bus, you take a ferry, and some people call it, let's say, the less developed, less touristy Boracay. They also have these amazing blue water beaches, and actually on the whole island they only have one area that is, let's say, a little bit more busy. There you can find some guest houses, some hostels, maybe 1 or 2 bars, so it's still very, if you drive out, I gotta say, just the vibe of this island, it was so slow, so relaxed. Maybe it was the time of the year that I was there. Some nice local, let's say, Spanish Filipino bakeries. Outside of the island you have the Virgin Island of Bantayan and all of that. Really cool, kind of like my type of Boracay. If you are in the Cebu area anyway, I can highly recommend it. Okay, and so finally, what you have been waiting for, my number 2. One of the best things I've probably ever done, which is a boat expedition, in my case in between of El Nido and Coron. And the way you can expect it is with one of the many tour companies that offer it. You jump on their boat, usually they have a camp set up somewhere on one of these smaller islands, and with the boat you go out into the waters. You visit many secluded islands. Very often you're gonna be the only person on the beach, maybe volleyball playing on the beach. You get fresh seafood, fish, squid, amazing fresh fruits from local markets. Me personally, I went on the tour with the company Keeloma. At this point I know these guys quite well, and I absolutely love, let's say, the authentic experience that they're offering. The groups usually are quite small, so during these few days you really become friends with the people that you're on. No Wi-Fi, no distractions, just pure nature into you. And I gotta say, it was one of the best experiences overall that I've had in all of my travels. The nature is breathtaking, the opportunity to disconnect, and you have the option. Either you can head out every day with the boat, explore different secluded islands, or stay in the camp and really wind out, just be by yourself, be the only person on the beach. And I will link their information in the description below. I highly recommend it, one of the best things you can do in the Philippines. Okay, and my number 1 in the Philippines as of right now is the island of Siargao. Okay, so here I have to really explain to you why that is. It doesn't even maybe has the most amazing nature. I would say that is the trip to the secluded islands. But just, let's say, the energy and the vibe on the island. If you stay there a little longer, not just a day or 2, but a few days, maybe a week, it feels super homey. There's a lot of people, let's say expat, who actually stay there, who start their businesses, a lot of very nice local cafes where actually also a lot of people are working. And it reminded me in that case a little bit of Bali. And the island is really growing, but my favorite thing on it by far, that is really the favorite. My number 1 motorbike ride is in Siargao. The palm trees, the island is actually quite large. You can drive for like 5 to 6 hours. Be careful, a lot of people get into motorbike accidents, and that also happened to me. Nothing serious, but definitely always keep that in mind. Almost every evening you can find somewhere live music playing. The beaches are quite nice, but let's say it's more of a surfer's town. There's a lot of surfers, so if that's something, you will definitely I love it. If you want to just have like, let's say this pure sand, just calm waters, head out on one of the neighboring islands, and that's where you can get that. It's actually very close, easy to get to as well with just a boat. So overall, if I would go back right now in the Philippines, probably Siargao would be definitely very high on the list. It's one of the places that I recently visited and I enjoyed a lot. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed my top 10 list. If you're new here, my name is Danny, and here on the channel, let's say I document my life. I talk on the one side about my travels, about how I maintain my health and fitness, talk a little bit about mindset, how I do the things that to do, what helps me along my way. If you're interested in that, I have also a second channel that you can check out in the description below. So with that, if you haven't smashed the thumbs up button, just do me a favor, gently tap it. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and suggest the video to people that possibly would enjoy it as well. And with that, thank you very much for watching. You too got a world to see, and until next time.